Hello everyone, and welcome back to our YouTube channel. Today's Tribute USA. We're so glad to have you here with us today. In this video, we're honoring the incredible legends who have recently left us. These remarkable individuals touched so many lives, and their legacies will live on forever. Before we begin, please support our channel by giving this video a thumbs up, subscribing, and turning on the notification bell so you don't miss our future tributes. Your support truly means a lot to us. Now, let's come together to celebrate and remember these unforgettable icons. Let's get started.
Esmeralda Ferragarivi, a young and vibrant Mexican rose to fame on social media through her radiant smile, unique style, and digital presence. She belonged to a new wave of creators who won hearts not only with their content but also with their personal charm and family-oriented lifestyle. By sharing her life, fashion, and everyday moments, Esmeralda built a loyal following who saw her not just as an influencer but as a friend. A big part of Esmeralda's story was her loving relationship with her husband, Roberto Carlos Quilisa. He was often seen by her side, and together they showcased a bond that inspired thousands. Their chemistry, along with the precious moments they shared with their children, painted a beautiful picture of family life. As a young mother and devoted wife, Esmeralda was admired not only as a digital star but also as a role model. But in 2025, tragedy struck in a way that shook not only her fans but the whole of Mexico. Esmeralda, her husband Roberto, and their young children were brutally murdered. This tragedy was more than just the loss of a family, it was a deep wound to a community that had been uplifted by her positivity and light. The heartbreaking news quickly spread across headlines, and social media was flooded with grief and condolences. Fans, fellow influencers, and admirers shared her content once more, celebrated her smile, and prayed for her family. Though Esmeralda's life was short, her impact was profound. With her husband and children, she was a living example of love, dedication, and the beauty of a family-centered life. Her sudden passing left the world in shock, but the memories she created and the digital legacy she built will always remain alive in the hearts of those who followed her. Today, Esmeralda Ferragarivi is remembered with a legendary tribute as a mother, a wife, and an influencer whose radiant smile and heartfelt simplicity touched countless lives. Her light still shines through the memories and content she left behind forever. Ken Flores, born in Chicago, Illinois, to a proud Mexican-American family, rose from humble beginnings to become one of the fastest-rising names in stand-up comedy. With his unmistakable presence, sharp timing, and self-deprecating humor, Flores built a loyal fan base in both live venues and the digital world. He wasn't just a comedian, he was a storyteller who captured the everyday struggles and joys of Latino life in America, mixing his cultural roots with universal humor that resonated across audiences. Flores first made waves on social media, where his short comedy clips began circulating widely, showcasing his quick wit and fearless style. His online presence quickly grew into sold-out live shows, where he connected with audiences through raw honesty, relatability, and an infectious laugh. Known for joking about food, family, culture, and the realities of growing up Latino, he carved out a space that celebrated identity while making everyone feel included. One of his proudest accomplishments was co-creating the Latin 40 Show, a platform that brought Latino comedians together and gave voice to a new generation of performers often overlooked in mainstream comedy. The show not only highlighted Ken's own talent, but also reflected his commitment to lifting others as he climbed. By giving a stage to fresh voices, he helped reshape the comedy scene, proving that Latino humor was powerful, diverse, and deserving of the spotlight. Ken Flores' career was marked by relentless work ethic and authenticity. He often spoke about staying true to who he was, never conforming to stereotypes, and always keeping his comedy rooted in truth. Fans admired not just his jokes but also his transparency about life, struggles, and perseverance. Whether performing in packed comedy clubs, theaters, or sharing laughs through his online platforms, Flores embodied the voice of a new comedic era. In 2025, the comedy world was shaken when Ken Flores passed away suddenly in his early 30s. His death was a heartbreaking loss, not only to his family and fans, but also to the Latino creative community he so passionately supported. Tributes poured in from fellow comedians and admirers who celebrated his life, talent, and the opportunities he created for others. Though gone far too soon, Ken Flores leaves behind a legacy of laughter, representation, and inspiration. His journey from local comic to cultural voice will continue to resonate with fans and future comedians alike. Ken Flores will forever be remembered as a rising star who burned brightly, lifting others with him and leaving the world better, funnier, and prouder of its diversity. Major General Joseph A. McNeil, born March 25, 1942, in Wilmington, North Carolina, lived a life that blended extraordinary courage in the fight for civil rights with distinguished service to his country. as one of the historic Greensboro. McNeil forever etched his name into American history when, on February 1, 1960, he and 3 fellow students from North Carolina A&T State University sat down at a segregated Woolworth's lunch counter in Greensboro and refused to leave after being denied service. That quiet act of defiance sparked a wave of nonviolent sit-ins across the United States, igniting a movement that helped dismantle the entrenched system of segregation in the South. For McNeil, that moment was never about personal fame, but about principle. He believed deeply in fairness, justice, and the promise of America living up to its ideals. His courage, along with his fellow students, inspired thousands of young people to take part in the sit-in movement, reshaping the civil rights struggle and accelerating the path toward equality. After graduation, Joseph McNeil continued his service to his nation in uniform. He joined the U.S. Air Force, where he built a career marked by discipline, leadership, and excellence. Rising through the ranks, he eventually achieved the distinguished status of Major General in the U.S. Air Force Reserve. Balancing his military career with his role as a civil rights icon, McNeil embodied the values of service, resilience, and commitment, both at home and abroad. His contributions were recognized throughout his lifetime. The Greensboro Four became symbols of the civil rights movement, honored in museums, memorials, and history books. McNeil himself remained humble, often reminding others that their actions were simply about doing what was right. His legacy, however, made clear that even the smallest acts of courage can create ripples that change the course of history. Major General Joseph A. McNeil passed away in 2025, at the age of 83. His death marked the loss of not only a decorated military officer but also a civil rights hero, whose bravery as a young student helped alter the fabric of American society. Today, McNeil is remembered as a man of principle, someone who stood tall, both at a segregated lunch counter and in the highest ranks of the Air Force. His life is a testament to the power of conviction, the importance of service, and the enduring truth that one person's courage can inspire generations. A legendary tribute to Joseph A. McNeil is that he never sought to be larger than life, but through his actions, he became exactly that. Ken Dryden, born August 8, 1947, in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, was one of hockey's most legendary goaltenders, a man whose towering presence between the pipes defined an era of dominance for the Montreal Canadiens. Standing at 6'4", Dryden was not only physically imposing but also mentally sharp, with a style that combined calm composure and an uncanny ability to read the game. His career, though relatively short in the NHL, remains one of the most remarkable in the history of the sport. Dryden burst into the spotlight during the 1970-71 season, joining the Canadiens late in the year and almost immediately becoming a sensation. In just 6 regular season games, he showed his brilliance. But it was in the playoffs where he truly stunned the hockey world, backstopping the Canadiens to an improbable Stanley Cup victory. He was awarded the Conn Smythe Trophy as playoff MVP, all before even being eligible for the Calder Trophy as Rookie of the Year, which he would win the following season. Through the 1970s, Dryden was the backbone of the Canadiens dynasty. With him in goal, Montreal captured 6 Stanley Cups in 8 seasons, a feat that cemented his place among the all-time greats. He won the Vezina Trophy 5 times, showcasing his consistency and dominance. Unlike many goalies of his era who relied on reflexes and sprawling saves, Dryden played with patience, often standing tall and waiting for opponents to make the first move. His calm, collected presence gave his teammates confidence and often frustrated his opponents. Beyond the rink, Dryden was known for his intellect and curiosity. While playing for the Canadiens, he famously stepped away from the game for a season to finish his law degree, demonstrating that his ambitions reached beyond hockey. After retiring in 1979, with a Hall of Fame career already secured, he transitioned into roles as an executive, author, broadcaster, and politician. His book, The Game, is widely regarded as one of the greatest sports books ever written, offering profound insight into the psychology of athletes and the culture of hockey. Dryden also entered public service, serving as a member of Parliament in Canada from 2004 to 2011, and holding a cabinet position as Minister of Social Development. His career after hockey reflected the same intelligence and poise that defined his goaltending, proving he was as much a leader in life as he was in sport. Ken Dryden passed away in 2025 at the age of 77, leaving behind an extraordinary legacy that transcends hockey. To Canadiens fans, he will forever be the calm, unshakable goalie who guarded the net during one of the greatest dynasties in sports. To Canadians at large, he was a thinker, a writer, and a leader whose contributions stretched far beyond the rink, a legend in every sense of the word. Ken Dryden's life was a testament to excellence, discipline, and vision. His name will forever echo in the halls of the Montreal Forum, in the pages of Canadian history, and in the hearts of those who witnessed his greatness. Kelsey Bateman, a name reality TV fans will always remember, was a personality who became part of the 2000s pop culture landscape with her charm, energy, and individuality. She rose to fame on VH1's bold and unforgettable show, Rock of Love, where she proved herself to be a confident and entertaining contestant. At that time, reality TV was at its peak, and Rock of Love not only combined music and romance but also gave rise to a new era of cult icons. Among them was Kelsey. Kelsey's entry into the show was full of personality. Her style, sense of humor, and authenticity made her a standout contestant. Fans were instantly drawn to her unfiltered moments and strong individuality. While the show was famous for its outrageous twists and drama, Kelsey often shined through her originality and self-expression. She wasn't there just to play a role. She became memorable by showing her true self. Even after her TV appearance, Kelsey Bateman lived her life with the same passion. She was known for her individuality and unapologetic attitude. Whether her journey was short or her time in the spotlight limited, she remained a cult favorite for the generation that watched her on screen. Reality TV fans often recall her name with nostalgia and appreciation. Sadly, in 2025 came the news of Kelsey Bateman passing, leaving her fans and old-school reality TV lovers in deep sorrow. She wasn't just a contestant, she was a memory of an era when shows like Rock of Love entertained a generation and created new stars. Kelsey Bateman will always be remembered as a lively, fearless, and authentic personality who left her mark on the world of reality TV, even in a short time. As a legendary tribute, it can be said that Kelsey showed us that sometimes the greatest impact under the spotlight comes from those who reveal their true selves, and her true self will always be remembered. Maria Cristina Camillo, lovingly known as Donna Christie, was born on December 25, 1917, in the Dominican Republic, and she became a true pioneer of media in her country. At a time when radio and television were still in their infancy, in the Caribbean, she broke barriers by becoming the first television presenter in the Dominican Republic, paving the way for generations of broadcasters, journalists, and entertainers who followed in her footsteps. Her career began with radio, where her warm voice, elegance, and natural ability to connect with audiences quickly made her a beloved figure. But it was with the arrival of television in 1952 that Maria Cristina Camillo cemented her place in history. She was the first face to appear on Dominican television screens, serving as a news presenter, announcer, and host at La Voz Dominicana, the pioneering Dominican TV channel. Her presence marked a cultural milestone for the country, ushering in a new era of communication and entertainment. Known for her grace, professionalism, and commitment to excellence, Camillo became a model of credibility and elegance in media. She hosted numerous programs, guided major broadcasts, and became an instantly recognizable figure to Dominican households. Her work was not just about delivering news or entertainment, it was about shaping the identity of Dominican television itself. Over the years, she earned countless recognitions for her contributions to national culture and media. Even after her retirement, she remained a symbol of dedication, passion, and innovation. Her pioneering role gave countless women in the Dominican Republic the courage to step into broadcasting, journalism, and television production. At a time when the industry was still male-dominated, Maria Cristina Camillo passed away in 2022. At the age of 105, after a life that witnessed more than a century of change, progress, and cultural evolution. Her passing was mourned across the Dominican Republic, with tributes pouring in from colleagues, institutions, and the countless viewers whose lives she had touched. Her legacy is not only that of a broadcaster but of a trailblazer, the woman who opened the door to an entire industry and whose presence marked the birth of Dominican television. Maria Cristina Camillo will forever be remembered as a voice of authority, a face of trust, and a legend who changed the cultural landscape of her nation.